My name is Tyler Borders, and I hate student debt. But what you might not know about student debt is that we're not borrowing like we used to. We reached our peak borrowing as a nation for student debt 4 years ago, and yet our outstanding balance continues to rise. As the Federal Reserve Bank of New York put in a study this year, the aggregate number of borrowers is actually decreasing, but that outstanding balance continues to rise as repayment rates remain very low, something people don't often know. So we asked ourselves, how can we make repayment easier? And the answer is right there in our pockets. Anybody can go for that. Lucky day, man. So Nibble is a platform. It's a tool that allows you to round up your daily debit card transactions to the next dollar and apply the difference directly towards yours or your family member's student debt. So how does it work? It's pretty simple. You go to Starbucks, you pay $2.20 for a cup of coffee because apparently they're having a sale. They round that up to $3, and that 80 cents goes directly towards you or your family member's student debt. The application also allows you to send referral codes on Facebook, SMS, and email to your family members so they can do the same thing with their money. And the great thing is it's just $2 a month. But don't take my word for it. We actually talk to people. Over the weekend, we filled out 200 surveys and 40 face-to-face interviews with people and found out that 70% of people would be willing to help a family member pay for student debt. Next. 28% of them willing to pay $20 to $50 a month. And when we told them about the program, what it does, and how much it costs, 65% of them said, yeah, $2 a month, sure, I'd do something like that. So we called them on it. We said, okay, prove it. Give us your email address. 45 email addresses to sign up, proving not only a demand, but a palatability in the market for the price point. Very promising data collected over the weekend from real people. Okay. And the great thing is it actually exists. We have an Android app and a web app that are about 80% complete. We're integrated with a Finicity and a Dwala API on the back end. It allows the debit card linking, the student loan account linking, ACH payments. We're not going over the debit card or the credit card rails for the actual payments. And Facebook integration is already complete. But we need to get this in people's hands. Next. We have a beta proof of technology planned for January to get the bugs out. About 2 months later, we're planning to go to market in San Antonio, San Marcos, and Austin. And there's about 550,000 people with student loan debt that are graduates in that market. And with an initial marketing spend of about $20,000, we think 1% to 2% is a reasonable guess for how many people we can capture, which brings some promising data. About 10,000 users, our cost per user is 70 cents a user, and we're already at an EBITDA, $76,000 and a margin of 32%. Of course, with more people, the margins increase due to economies of scale. But of course, we need a little bit of help, which is why I'm talking to you. We need a few things, but most important on this slide is the networking aspect. Connections to industry leaders, entrepreneurs, folks that we can continue the conversation with. Now, I'd be remiss not to mention the founders. We have a team here that is actually capable of bringing this to market. Our CTO is a former CTO and currently a lead architect for a $1 billion fintech startup. I am a project manager at that same startup, deep industry experience. I'm an MBA here at Texas State. And Spencer Little, the original founder, is one of the brightest and most driven 23-year-olds I've ever met. But before we get to Q&A, I just want to point out that I'm genuinely passionate about this subject. My wife is here today. She's taking pictures as usual. And over the past 12 months, we paid off $50,000 in student loan debt because we were sick of it. And if we had a tool like Nibble to make our lives easier, it would have saved us some counseling, to be honest with you. So it's something that, yes, it's a viable business, but more importantly, it actually helps people. And we're looking forward to continuing the conversation. What questions do you have?
Another excellent presentation, all have been excellent. What really struck me was that you had evidence in your presentation. You went out and you actually interviewed 45 email people. Sorry, 45 email users responded back and showed interest. So at least it was a little bit of a test to see that there is something there. Clearly, take that much further to really show a much stronger picture of the full market. I think you had great numbers and it was a great story. I think one of the things that often comes up as a question, how much of this market is actually addressable? So what that means is to be able to say, here is the total student debt, you have that there, and then think about, what do you think you could probably tackle within the first 1 to 3 years? How much of that piece? Probably not going to get to 100% of it. Is it going to be 5% of the market? Is it 10% of the market? 30% of the market? And what are the underlying assumptions to get there? Because then when you have an addressable market, then you can really build some very solid numbers off of that. Again, nothing that was wrong, and certainly within a weekend like that, I wouldn't have expected seeing anything like that. But as a next step, that's something you may want to consider.
Great feedback.
Great job.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Everyone did an excellent job. Let me ask a question just real quick. So you need 20K.
20 to 50 estimated.
Okay, that's a big range. You need to dial that in.
So,
That's
on point.
Have a specific ask with what you're going to spend it on.
Okay.
And I'm going to suggest that you really dial that in
Okay.
and really come up with what you specifically need for that.
Okay.
And then you specifically come up with what you're willing to give up for that.
Okay.
But you need to come up with a number. That's a little surprising.
And could I just tag in there, that's where, if you're able to get to an addressable market, then it wouldn't be a range anymore, you would actually have a figure that you probably would come up with. So if you're, let's say for example, you're going after 25% of that market, you get that 20 to 50,000, all of a sudden drill it down and you'll be able to come up with a number.
Okay.
So I know this is our technology. Two real quick questions. Did you guys design the app or did you outsource it to a third-party firm?
We designed it.
Okay, in-house?
Yes.
There's no third-party firm that could claim IP over you guys?
Correct.
All right. All three of you are at a startup right now. You have a job, or two of the three of you guys are working somewhere else right now, is that correct?
All three of us are working at the same place. Two of us are in the industry, so to
Okay.
speak, at the same company.
You don't have any kind of contract with that current firm? Of
First
stuff you
thing
do
we
on the
checked,
side?
no non-competes.
You checked with an attorney that has reviewed?
We checked directly with our HR and read the contract word for word that we
And
signed.
your HR sent you some kind of email or something
Yes,
saying if you do something
that
on
is
the
still in my
side?
inbox.
I'd still get an attorney to look at it.
Sure would.
I don't blame
A
you.
lot of these startups do have hooks in your contract that say whatever you come up with that's in the same industry belongs to them.
Yeah.
So kudos on you guys for looking into that,
Mhm.
because you hate to develop something that somebody else owns. That sucks.
We had some genuine concerns about that out of the box, and before we wrote a line of code, that's the first thing we asked. But you're right. Just because we had an email from an HR director, it's not the same thing as a lawyer.
Yeah, yeah. They're like real estate agents. They can tell you whatever you want to hear.
You might
Spend
have
the
some
weekend with real
experience, it
estate
sounds
agents,
like.
so there you go. This is a cool idea. I love it for the niche you're going after. And I'm thinking about, this would be great for high school kids. It would be great for,
To save for college.
to save for college. It'd be great for people saving for weddings, for kids, for their kids being born. And if you had a Nibble for your kids' college tuition, and you did that the day you found out you were pregnant as a couple, or whatever, however that works nowadays. I just say stuff like that to get a laugh. This is great. This is brilliant. And you're going around, so you're not having to go through the credit card companies. It's just a calculation you guys do on the transaction.
Exactly. We aggregate transactional data, we do the math, and we run over ACH via the wallet.
Yeah, and this is in the news
Wow.
all the time. You could garner, you're not gonna have to pay for press if you could really pull this off.
Yeah, yeah. All those different people that do financial advising, Money Magazine, Worth Magazine. Yeah, this is a great idea.
But again, if
How much you in for it?
Well, that's why I asked. So if you, I'm gonna say the same thing, and I want everybody here to hear this. You have to have a moat, you have to have a toll bridge, and if you can't, man, you have to get to market so fast, because if you think you're the only one out there, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Ask this lady Laura here. I don't know, and I know him over time, but I don't know if you guys have a clue, but that's probably one of the top 100 entrepreneurial resources on the planet.
Yeah.
And that's maybe top 50. I think, and she'll deny it, but I'll tell you what, the Austin tech scene, that's her right there.
Yeah.
The reason why the companies are in Austin are her right there. That lady, companies take her to London right there. If you want a resource, and want to learn about moats, toll bridges, first to market and flying, right there. Sorry, I just probably made your phone go off.